So I think at this moment, CAF are struggling from consistency and credibility issues because in the first place, before even the final, the referee blew the whistle for the final, there was a general belief that CAF is working for Morocco to win the final. So it meant that CAF had to be on tenterhooks because if Morocco had won the AFCON and it looked in any way as if the scales have been tilted in favor of Morocco, then that hypothesis had been actually taken and it had actually come to fruition and meant that it was actually true. But this is my problem. First of all, in all this thing, it goes back to the referee. Jean-Jacques Ndala. Why, knowing all the rules, when he allowed the players to walk off, whenever they walked off, if he had whistled finally for the game, all these conversations would have happened. Because clearly it would have gone back to the rules and it would have been passed. But one thing about the law is that, and you hear lawyers argue about this a lot, there is the letter of the law and there is the spirit of the law. So there are things where in the law it is written clearly that do this, do that. But sometimes in this implementation, you use the human face. A typical example. Remember when we were doing the election petition in 2013, remember there was a point where the petition began around, if I'm not wrong, February, March. The petition ended around August of 2013. Mahama had been sworn in January.
Yeah.
So he had been president for almost 8 months. Imagine the court had ruled that, and if you check, there were certain irregularities which were established that were irregularities anyway. Imagine the court had ruled that, okay, based on these irregularities,
Mahama comes off.
Mahama goes off. Imagine how the country would have looked like. So you see, the court ruled that, okay, well, we've taken into cognizance these mistakes, but the problem is that we make sure that rectify it such that at the next elections, these problems do not rear their ugly head, or we put in place mechanisms such that when these problems arise, we manage to curtail them so that we don't fall into this situation again. Now, remember, this petition that the Americans brought, the first time they took it to the disciplinary board.
Yeah.
When it was quashed, that was when Saibari was punished, the Moroccan Federation was punished to pay the fines, the Senegalese were punished, two of their players with the coach.
The coach was
But remember, in the petition that the Americans placed, they wanted CAF to award the trophy to them.
Yeah.
CAF quashed that. That was the disciplinary board.
Yeah.
When it went to the appeals board, then it changed. Remember something, the facts of the case remain, but the outcomes have changed within 2 months. What happened? That's where politics comes in. Politics, one of the definitions when we were in school was who gets what, when, and how. So let's put it let's look at this definition within the scenario. Morocco is who? What are you talking about? The AFCON final and the AFCON trophy. When did they get the trophy? How did they get the trophy?
Okay.
What was the time they got the trophy? It was after it was clear that they decided to strong-arm CAF by deciding not to host the AFCON. When they knew...
The WAFCON.
The WAFCON. When they knew for a long time that they were going to host the AFCON and the WAFCON.
Yeah.
When things didn't go their way, then they decided to strong-arm CAF in terms of preparation. And then I blame CAF there because CAF, the South Africans were ready to host the WAFCON.
I'm shocked.
So they could have also strong-armed the Moroccans by giving it to the South Africans.
Yeah.
But I'm sure CAF's hands are neck-deep in the Moroccan mouths that at this point, there's going to be mutually assured distraction if both parties are not careful.